All right. Well, we wait. Zay, Nick, we'll give you a second here to get ready. Travis Hines, go ahead and unmute yourself and go and ask away.
Hey, TJ, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. When you sat down and watched the tape from Saturday, when you're looking at offense, I mean, obviously, like we're looking at made shots and 41 points. What are you looking at in terms of evaluating where things went right and where they didn't?
Yeah, I think for us, we need to be very intentional about our shot selection, and so I don't think we're at a point as a team where we need to be hunting like transition threes and one pass shots and things along those lines. We're more the type of team that needs to have our offense match our defense, right? Where we get like a physical catch at the elbow or a penetrating catch somewhere. And now we try to get the defense to collapse. We move the ball and play for each other. So as we evaluate our offense, like certainly, shooting the ball really well from three and just like making shots will help space out an opponent. But for us, where we've been effective throughout the year has been, being a little more intentional with our possessions, being willing to move the defense inside out, side to side, and kind of take the shot that presents itself. I think at times we, maybe we go a little quick or, certainly offensively, we our turnovers were higher than what we would like. So we've got to be a team that gives us more than just tries to like come up and fire quick.
I mean, I guess you guys are like around 200, I think, in pace. It sounds like you'd be okay if that even got it maybe a little bit slower and take your time a little bit more offensively.
Yeah, I think twofold. Like when we play faster, it's usually because we generate more turnovers, right? Like pressure the ball, we speed people up, they turn it over, we go in transition. And so for us, if we're going to have a faster pace, it should be because our defense speeds people up, not because our offense flies it up to shoot it quickly. So yeah, to answer, I guess, directly, we would be fine if our pace was, a little bit slower. But again, if we're able to balance that with pressuring and generating turnovers, we want those points and those possessions. When we can't get those, we need to be more deliberate.
This looks like a different kind of West Virginia team than we've seen the last few years, I guess, especially on the glass. Is there an opportunity for you guys to try to generate some points on the offensive glass tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we need to be intentional about. I think part of it is what you were talking about right there too, is the shot selection, right? Is if our guys know where the shots come from, that gives us a better chance to be in position on the offensive rebounding side of things. So when you shoot it quick, and you're kind of caught off guard, it usually doesn't give you that same opportunity to be on the offensive board. So that's certainly an area we feel like we can be effective, productive, and an area where we need to get some extra possessions and some easier baskets.
Thanks, TJ.
Thank you.
Once again, if you have a question, please use the raise hand button in the participant panel. Our next question will be from Nick Osen. Nick, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, TJ. Obviously, West Virginia is, one of the few conference teams you haven't faced yet. What advantages might that give Iowa State, as they haven't faced your ball pressure, your high focus on turnovers per se, but also maybe disadvantages as, the team hasn't faced the Mountaineers that are kind of known for their physicality in general at their place, absolutely needing a win tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know about advantage, disadvantage. You mentioned some things that will be true. Like both teams are, needing a win. We need to be the team that's more desperate and urgent to do that because we haven't played them yet. We know full well that, especially at their place, their physicality, regardless of what numbers say, they're a very physical team and they play a lot of guys. And Coach Huggins demands that physicality in a lot of different aspects. And so we've got to be ready for that. I'm sure on their side of the ledger, they know that we turn people over at a high rate. So they're going to be focused on, not allowing us to do that, And so we've got to be who we can be, which is, that team that pressures the ball and generates those turnovers. That certainly helps us offensively. And so I don't know, obviously they've lost some games here, and, we're coming off a couple losses ourselves. So I tend to think in those situations, the teams that have more urgency on all fronts end up finding themselves in position to be successful. And that's what we've really been preaching in practice today and as we've gone through our film work.
Thank you so much.
We'll go back to Travis Hines. Travis, go ahead.
TJ, how are you guys, I guess, from a health standpoint with trying to play so physical and being now kind of in the, the real grind part of the season here with the finish line still a little ways away, but a lot of tread off the tires already?
Yeah, that's the challenge, right? Every day is trying to find that right blend of embracing that physicality and those habits that we need to have to be successful. And then, balance it with the right amount of rest, so our guys feel good and energized going into the games. It's certainly something we're mindful of and factor in and take into account each and every day. And so we still believe that, there's a lot we're playing for. So you've got that motivational factor. You've got our habits. You've got our guys their character, which we're still seeing a lot of desire on their end to want to do things. So, I think that's responsibility of mine to make sure that we continue to walk that line of reinforcing those physical habits and keeping those things fresh on our mind, while still not like breaking down our guys' bodies so that they can, perform at a level and play with a lot of energy, because that's our style and what we need to do to be successful on game night.
You mentioned a lot to play for. Are you somebody that talks about the NCAA tournament with your team, or is that something you'd stay away from?
Yeah,
in terms of getting there.
At this point, we haven't really talked about those type of things. We've been more focused on, what's immediately in front of us, the next game. And we've had these, without like a real break in league play, they've kind of keep coming at you, right? So we've tried to keep focused on what's next. I think, as a coach, you're always trying to gauge your team. Where are they at mentally? What do they need? What's going to, make us play our best? So at this point, that's not something we've talked about. Doesn't mean we wouldn't at some point in time. But right now we're focused on, let's try to be the team that we know we need to be in Morgantown tomorrow night. And let's come out with a win and then go from there.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
We'll next go to Rob Gray. Rob, unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi, TJ. You mentioned monitoring how the guys are feeling, particularly from a mental standpoint. Are you seeing what you want to see in practice all the time to kind of feed that stay the course mentality, that even though the games have gone sideways a couple times recently, that what you're seeing on a daily basis is a portent of, good things to come?
Yeah, I think our guys have demonstrated great practice habits, right? And so, when you look at really what's transpired even recently, like in the games in the league, there's really three, maybe even a fourth team in our league that could have a chance to win the whole thing, right? And so even though we realize, like, in practice every day, our guys are doing a great job of embracing those habits, there's certain nights out there where, we're playing teams that are good enough to win the whole thing. And so, like, your margin is so small, and then one tough shot, one turnover can change the whole game. And I don't think it's a big secret. We haven't demonstrated the offensive firepower to withstand those type of situations. So every game in the Big 12 is really tough. We've played some of those teams. We've gotten some of those games, I hate to say, out of the way against those teams that are really some that are in that position to have a chance to win it. And so I think our guys, they've stayed positive in practice. I think they're aware of who we need to be as a team and what we need to do. They have practiced hard every single day. Certainly there's a mental component to, we all want to win and everybody feels better after a win. But at the same time, our guys know that like, this is the best league in the country. You're going to have some of those nights, and we've had some, and we just need to continue to embrace our mentality and our mindset and who we can be, because, we don't have any other choice. There's not another team we can be. There's not an adjustment. There's not a different way to do it. It's be better at what we do.
Thanks, TJ.
Thank you.
All right, Peter Jackal from the Racine Journal-Times, go ahead.
Coach, this is a very general question, but can you talk about the contributions that Tyrese Hunter has made during the year, making the transition from high school to playing for you right off the bat?
Yeah, Tyrese certainly has embraced everything we've asked of him. I mean, it's no small task to come into this league as a freshman and nonetheless start at the point guard position. And so he's done a terrific job in a job that almost is like mission impossible in this conference, because the majority of the league is littered with 22 and 23-year-old veteran players. There's not another freshman point guard. There's maybe one other freshman or maybe two on occasion even starting in this league. And so it says a lot about what we're asking of him and what he's done. We've been really proud of, specifically lately, he's had some games where he's been a great game manager. The Missouri game didn't have a turnover. So what we're really looking for from Tyrese is to play with a maturity and experience, a command, and he's embraced that. He's done it. Now, has it been perfect? No, but we've been really pleased with that offensively. And look, defensively, he's a good on-ball defender. We're going to continue to challenge him to be even better there. And obviously, he gets the steals. He's got instincts to read passing lanes off the ball. So it's a lot we're asking of him. Nobody else in this league, which is the best league in the country, is asking that of anybody. So he's done a good job. And like I said, almost mission impossible of what we asked of him.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we have for you this week, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.